students. Today I wish to introduce a new poem to you. This poem is entitled Elegy written in a country churchyard. This poem is written by Thomas Gray. Thomas Gray is said to be the poet of transition. What is the meaning of transition? Transition means change. It was a change in the English, it was a time of change in the English poetry. We remember that the political scientist Jean-Jacques Rousseau had brought out a wonderful book called The Social Contract in the year 1751. Now, this is a milestone in the freedom movement of France and other European countries. As a result of this book, France had experienced a revolution in the year 1789. So, this poem coincides with the appearance of Jean-Jacques Rousseau's book, The Social Contract. The memorable quote from this social contract is, "Man is born free, but everywhere he finds himself in chains." So this was about freedom. And the time was changing from feudalism to democracy, and there were many democratic movements in the European countries. So now in poetry also, the emphasis from the feudal lords had shifted to the common people, and this poem written by Thomas Gray is addressed to the common people. This is all I want to say in the introduction of this poem. I wish to explain the first 6 stanzas of this poem. This poem has 32 stanzas, each of 4 lines. So today, for today's lecture, I am going to take up the first 6 stanzas. So please follow me carefully. I am uploading the PDF format of this poem in 6 parts, and I hope that will help you. Even if you don't have the book, you will be supplied the text on your YouTube channel. The curfew tolls the knell of parting day. The lowing herd wind slowly over the lea. The ploughman homeward plods his weary way and leaves the world to darkness and to me. The curfew. What is the meaning of curfew? Curfew in old English times, when this poem was written, as I told you that this poem was written in the year 1751. So at that time, many people did not have matchboxes, and the common way of, say, preserving fire was to cover the fire with ashes. And so after curfew, nobody burnt the hearth in the kitchen. They put out the fire by covering it with ashes. And so the curfew tolls. So the church rang the curfew bell, and it was dark at that time. And after that, nobody came out from home, and the fire was put out. So the curfew tolls means the curfew bell tolls the knell. Knell is the bell of parting day. Means the sun has set, the day has gone, and now it is curfew time and nobody is allowed to go out. The lowing herd wind slowly over the lea. The lowing herd. The cows are making noise. Herd of cows is making noise, and wind means they are not taking a straight path. They are moving around here and there, and they are going slowly over the lea. Lea is the pasture land, or is the land of grass where they were grazing. The ploughman homeward plods his weary way. And the ploughman, the farmer, the agricultural worker who is walking, plods means walking with heavy steps, his weary way. Now, weary means tired. So the farmer is tired, not the way is tired, but this epitaph has been given to the way. So this is an example of the transferred epithet. And leaves the world to darkness and to me. The poet is seated in the country churchyard, in the graveyard, and so the poet is left behind. All the animals have passed away, to their pens, and the plowmen, the farmers, the workers, they have all returned home. The poet is left alone there in the graveyard. I start the second stanza. Now fades the glimmering landscapes on the sight, and all the air a solemn stillness holds, save where the beetle wheels his droning flight, and drowsy tinkling lull the distant folds. Save that from... Yes, please. So I explain this second stanza. Now fades the glimmering landscape. Landscape is the view which you can see to the horizon. So the light is fading, which is glimmering means now it is visible, now it is becoming less visible. So whatever landscape he can see, trees, mountains, buildings, etc. So now that scene is becoming less visible, and all the air a solemn stillness holds. Stillness means quietude, means there is no noise, there is absolute silence. So the air is silent, means there is no noise in the air. Save means except where the beetle wheels his droning flight. So the beetle is a very small insect, and very often in the evening time it keeps on flying, and droning flying means because it makes you feel sleepy, it gives you the impression that the sun has set and now it is time to sleep. So the beetle is flying there, and the voice of the beetle flying is audible, and drowsy tinklings lull the distant folds. And the drowsy means again sleeping, sleepy. Tinkling means there were bells hung around the neck of the animals, of the cattle, and so the cattle, as they move their necks, so their bells make a noise, and thereby the animals indicate other animals that they are now sleeping. So distant folds means distant herds, distant pens where the animals are sleeping. So all this tinkling of the bell suggests that the animals are now taking rest. Third stanza. Save that from yonder ivy mantle tower, the moping owl does to the moon complain, of such as wandering near her secret bower molest her ancient solitary reign. So, in the previous stanza there was a word called save. Here also at the start there is save. So the same feeling is continued, means there was no noise. Save means except. From that yonder ivy mantle tower. Tower is a huge building, and mantle means cover. And that yonder means here, there about. So there is a tower nearby, and on that tower ivy has covered the tower, and there the moping owl, the hooting owl to the moon is complaining, of such as wandering near her secret bower. So if there is anyone moving around the secret bower, means the secret residence, the secret house of the owl, and if they are trying to molest means disturb her ancient solitary reign. Ancient means old, and solitary means single, and reign means rule. So if there is anyone moving around the house of the owl, then the owl is complaining, the owl is screeching, the owl is hooting. So that voice is audible. So there are three voices audible. First of all, the voice of the beetle, and the drowsy tinkling, and this owl screeching. So there are three sounds audible, otherwise there is perfect quietude. Fourth stanza. Beneath those rugged elms that yew trees shade, where heaves the turf in many a mouldering heap, each in his narrow cell forever laid, the rude forefathers of the hamlet sleep. So, what does the poet see on the landscape? There are elm trees, and elm trees are very hard, with large trunk and with great height. And there are yew trees also, yew berry trees. So under those hard trees, there are heaving the turf. The turf is the ground, the soil. So the soil is, mouldering. Mouldering means changing, heap. The heap of this soil is changing. Each in his narrow cell forever laid. So everybody is laid in a narrow cell, means the poet is talking about the graves of these villagers, the rude forefathers of the hamlet sleep. The poet uses this word rude. This does not mean uncivil, this means uneducated. So the uneducated forefathers of this small hamlet, this small village are sleeping, means they have been buried here in this graveyard after their deaths. Yes. So now I take up the fifth stanza. The breezy call of incense breathing morn, the swallows twittering from the straw-built shed, the cock's shrill clarion or the echoing horn, no more shall rouse them from their lowly bed. Now, if you see in the morning, the gentle breeze is blowing, means soothing air is blowing, and it is carrying incense. Incense means fragrance, or you can say scent of the flowers which are blooming in the morning. The swallow twittering, the swallow birds make nice chirping in the sky from the straw-built shed. Now they have built their nest in the straws, and moreover the cock is, crowing. The cock is crowing with a sharp voice, and it is declaring the morning. Or the echoing horn, the horn is also making noise. So all these activities of the morning, the swallows twittering in the bird, or even the gentle breeze of the morning, or the cocks crowing, all these things shall not rouse them from their lowly bed, means from their graves, because they are dead and they have been laid in the grave, and therefore all these nice events of early morning will not arouse these uneducated people who are lying in their graves. The sixth stanza and today's last stanza I explain to you. I recite this stanza for you. For them no more the blazing hearth shall burn, or busy housewife ply her evening care. No children run to lisp their shire's return, or climb his knees the envied kiss to share. Now, what is the activity? Now, the people are dead. Now they are in the grave. So, when they were living, what did the housewives do? The housewives took care of the people who worked hard in the field. First of all, they burnt the hearth for them, because when they returned home, the women folks, they kept the water warm for their husbands, so that they could wash their feet and hands before eating food. Or busy housewife ply means do her evening care. So whatever the woman did for her husband. And one more thing, that the children were waiting for their father's return. Sire means father. So the children will not lisp. Lisp means speak in the children's voice, because the children can't speak perfectly. So the children would say, Papa, Papa has thumb. Come, they won't say come, but they would say thumb or something like that. So this is called lisping. So the children will also lisp and declare the father's return, or climb his knees, the envied kish to share. And when the father came, they climbed on the knees of the father, and there was a competition among us, the children, who kissed the father's forehead first. And so all the children kissed the father, but now the children would not run because the father would not run. The father is dead, and the father's dead body is lying in the grave. So that was all, friends. Now, for the next lecture, I will take up stanzas 7 to 12. Goodbye till then.